I hear some people saying that I am their servant. I'm not a servant of anybody.
Okay, Museveni, you are not a servant, but you are a freedom fighter. I think you are in the wrong place. Mr. Byamukama, you should disqualify Museveni now, because also based on the facts I'm going to say today, he has failed Uganda. There is no reason we should give Museveni another chance. Ugandans, it's up to you. All the impact about your voting, the outcome, is going to impact on you, on your life every day. Let us look at his records. Education. Now as we stand now, we don't have qualified minister ahead of Minister of Education, who happens to be his wife, Janet Museveni, who doesn't have O and A-level grades. So that disqualifies the lady to be the Minister of Education. What can we say about education of Uganda? 33 children, they cannot reach where there is some sort of formal education in Uganda. And so many young people, they miss on education because education in Uganda is commercial, is not affordable, is not accessible, and the quality is bad. It means it has left a gap between those who can afford to pay for good schools and those who can't pay. Simply, Uganda now has got Bonabasome as the provision from the government, but it should be universal. We saw that some of the schools, primaries, results from northern Uganda. Some schools didn't even get second grades, but other schools were flying so high. So if we want to develop a country, we need our country to be together. We need people to be on a universal and equality education. That's somebody that we speak the same language, that we understand the same way, that we must be understanding. Second, Uganda has got most of the schools studying under the trees. That is unacceptable. We should have more and we should have better. As we speak for now, Ugandans now, the teachers are poorly paid. How do you expect them to teach your children? As we speak now, the number, numerous, and literacy is at 38. It's behind Tanzania, which is 48, and Kenya, which is 38. So we are lagging behind. As we speak now, Uganda, the University of Makerere, used to be on Cambridge University of United Kingdom, but it's no longer like that. So education is pivotal and is fundamental. It's a benchmark that we can build our country. So under Museveni, education has become commercial. Education has become just a process. People, they qualify, they don't have jobs. But education should be number one. It should be accessible, affordable, universal, and it should be of quality. And it should be what happens in Uganda. Education now, it has become a choice. It shouldn't be a choice. It should be mandatory that all people, they should go in those forms of education. Thank God, Robert Kyagulanyi has got 444. Code 4 that he's going to bring academics, arts, athletics, and agriculture. Thank you, Robert. So when I'm talking about health under Museveni, what we are seeing is that the expectancy life of Ugandans is at 48. That is very, very low. A country which hasn't had a war for a while, a country which has been independent for 58 years. And when we talk about health, we talk about mothers who are dying 19 per day, and that is the statistics we have. But 19, they die every day during childbirth. And at the moment, Uganda has got one of people who are dying of avoidable diseases, avoidable causes. People, they drink dirty water. People, they die in accidents. Anything that which can be avoided. As we speak now, health is so bad. The facilities are not there. the equipments are not there, the health workers are not there. We have seen in lockdown, it has exposed how poor we are. There was no unit which was going to receive for emergency like those people with the COVID-19. So our health is just very, very poor, and we don't have care. Like for cancer people, we only have one ward, we have just one machine working, and Mulago now has made like VIP outlet, and we need regional hospitals that people in Guru, they can access them. People in Kasese, Masaka, Mbalala, they can access it. But how do we afford to get a sick person from Mbalala to Kampala? That is going to cause more and more damage. So that is another failure on Museveni. People are dying too young. Expectancy is so poor. There is no hospital. There is no medication. There is corruption. You have to pay money to be seen by the doctor. So that is not the Uganda that we want. And then I'm going to talk about the employment. During Museveni, we have seen the rise in population, and he brags about it. But what he hasn't done is to create jobs for the young people, which is causing a problem in Uganda. What is his problem today? Lack of employment. Manifesto 2016 NRM says they were going to create jobs. They haven't created any jobs. We find that people who qualify as graduates, they end up going diaspora where they are doing the work. Thank God for Robert Chagulanyi. He said he's going to bring back all those people from diaspora and take advantage of their knowledge and skills. I think that will help to develop Uganda. But unemployment, as we see now, is 70% of people in the age of 18 to 40 years. That is very, very high. How are we going to develop Uganda? How are we going to do? How are we going to achieve what we want? Now, when you talk about housing, Museveni not so long ago, it's 1 year he went to ghetto and said he is man of the ghetto. But he hasn't improved the ghetto. He went there to get the votes. Publicity stunt. In ghetto, they need water, clean water. They need lighting. They need access to services. They need services next to them. They need to get out of poverty. They are not meant to be being in a ghetto that you use them to get votes, but they are meant to live a meaningful life. The housing is so commercial. You cannot afford to buy a house. You cannot afford to build a house on these mega jobs. So employment is gone out of the way. There is no minimum wage, and what we see that investors, they come and have tax free, and after that they run away. So Uganda is not benefiting. Employment, we got so many young people on the street. Now we don't have the benefit of educating our children, because once we do, they don't have anything to do. And that is leading to the country being poor, because we are not producing. We are not having educated people as we are having now. The people who are educated now, they are being employed as to be for propaganda to lie from 7, those which we call educated idiots or fools. They are being used. So what do we do? Transport. Museveni is running campaigns that he's making his done roads. No, then we don't have roads. We saw Matoke in lockdown. They couldn't get out of the villages, and people were throwing them away. They were costing 1,000. So we need roads across the Uganda, across the villages, in the rural and urban areas. Transport is a key where you can use to go and work, to see your friends, to go for shopping. Is such a public health issue. So we don't have transport. We should have a train, 4 trains running east, west, south, and west. But we live onto the lie of the pledge of the promise of 70 for 1988, when he promised to bring us a train. We haven't had one Either we haven't repaired the one which we have. The city is congested. Transport is very high. We had UTC, which was phased out. We need transport where everybody can afford. And into our villages, we need feeder roads. If we have feeder roads, we will have people to buy our products, and then we will sell them, because when you look at farming and agriculture, it contributes 70% to our economy, and it's something we cannot ignore. It's something that we cannot we cannot put all our strength. That is number one we have. So many people, they have run out of villages and they have gone into cities to make a living, because now all the banks which were borrowing affordable loans, they are no longer there. What they have is microfinance, which is very, very high. Uganda, I'm just talking briefly. As the economy, we were promised middle income. It didn't come. Tanzania is flying, being approved by World Bank. Well done, Tanzania. Uganda is the third poorest country. Uganda, when you see people, they don't have clean water and sanitation. And that is what shows you that we are on the bottom end. That is the judgment, that is the standard gauge we use. So, based on that, we can talk about any other thing. Corruption has eaten in Uganda, but those are the 5 key points that I can talk to you today. Education, health, housing, transportation, and employment. And none Museveni has addressed. And he continues to give you excuse. Ugandans, if after 34 years you still believe in him, you still want to give him a choice, then you have got something wrong, fundamental wrong with you. You have to blame yourself. Life shouldn't be that way. You should do something about it. This is your life. It's not about Museveni. If he's comfortable, you have to be comfortable. It's about universal. I would advise you to go and read about the 5 values, the agenda for National Unity Platform, which is going to bring universal education, health, and what, and it's going to improve on our economy for everybody. Use our resources, minerals very well, create good governance, and create good relationship at home and international. So Ugandans, we only need Bobby Wine. We need Robert Kyagulanyi to be the president. Is promising to change Uganda, promising to be the servant of Uganda, is promising to work with you people, is promising to bring in Uganda, is promising to bring good governance to Uganda, is promising to bring the police and the security and the UPDF to work under the law. There is no other choice. You have to choose. As he's going to be nominated tomorrow, I urge you to think. Nothing, you cannot even think over this. This is a done deal where Robert should be given credit and should be thought about it and then be nominated. He needs our support and we need to support him. Forget about Museveni, who doesn't want Uganda, who doesn't find, he finds himself being a president, but he doesn't want to serve Uganda. People power, our power. I'm going to vote for Robert Kyagulanyi because of NRM has failed me for 34 years and I cannot afford to give them another chance. I thank you very much.